Hello plant friends, my name is Victoria and you're watching Plantastics. If you're curious as to how to get your amaryllis to rebloom, you are in the right spot. So if you didn't plant them outside in summer, pretty much you can skip this step and get to the part where I put them in the brown bag and they can just skip growing. If you leave them outside, they will have larger blooms and you have a better chance of them reblooming. Not to say that they won't rebloom, but your chances are much lower because they didn't get a chance to collect and replenish their energy that they spent. So I have some varying sizes. These actually really tiny ones I grew from seed, and I might make a separate video on that. And then the larger ones like this one, those were either given to me or I purchased from a grocery store. The very largest one I've had for several years, and I purchased it from an Amaryllis specialty store. I can't remember what it was. I'll have to go through my email receipts pretty much to find it. But I've had it for 2 different years, and it's bloomed for me 2 years. After this year, it'll be 3. So counting after this dormancy, because this one reblooms for me it's consistently rebloomed for me. And then this one also pretty nice. So these had direct evening sun on this side of the house, and then whenever I was bringing them out, they were in morning sun because that's just a little easier on them when they're hardening off. But yeah, they pretty much, they send out their bloom, and then after they've bloomed, they send out their leaves, so you can cut back the bloom and then put them outside, which is what I do. And it's really cool because all of them are red or red and white, so I can put them together and pretty much have like a centerpiece. I've experimented with different things. I'm really looking for like a concrete urn to put them in. I've seen other people on different like magazines and stuff where they put branches and different like decorations. Mine, whenever I overwinter them or pretty much put them through dormancy, they bloom consistently for me around Valentine's Day. So you want to spray off the roots. If you are going to put them in a brown bag like I am, you may be able to actually take the entire pot if you have the space and put that inside in like your garage or like a cellar or like a shed or something. The only thing is that place doesn't need to get below 32 degrees Fahrenheit or freezing because you could kill your bulbs. I don't have that kind of space, so I pretty much put them in our little refrigerator, and I can set the temperature on there, and I just set it to 35, 36, 37, and they stay in there for like 4 to 6 weeks. So I'm removing all of the soil from the roots, and I'm spraying from the roots to the tips of the leaves, and then afterwards I leave them out overnight in this windowsill, and they are able to let that water drain out because you don't want that water to sit in the top of those leaves and like go down. So you can either suspend them like to where they're upside down or just do them like this, like where they're at an angle, because you want that water to drip out. You don't want it to sit there because it can rot the bulbs. So I have all these different sizes. They can grow, like this right here is a baby bulb, and in like probably by next summer it'll be large enough to be removed. It's too small right now. So these are all really, really healthy, nice, healthy. I accidentally sprayed off some of the outer layer, but it's not a big deal. This one actually is rotten, and I did end up removing the outer layer. So those are the teeny tiny babies. So now you can pretty much just cut off like either an inch or half an inch, and then those leaves you can just compost them or put them, like we have a place in our yard where we basically put like plant scraps and whatnot. So pretty much cutting these off, and then the part that remains, it will turn brown, and basically that's the bulb absorbing the energy from those leaves, and that doesn't mean that the bulb is dead. That's just part of the process pretty much. So don't be worried if you see that. These leaves, pretty much the longer you have the bulb, the variety, those are all factors. So I didn't know this, but if you grow them from seed, it can take between 4 and 5 years before they're able to bloom, which seems like a really long time. So these teeny tiny babies, they are a year old, and it's kind of funny because they're all different sizes. This one I've had for the longest, and that's why it's the largest. It also puts out the most leaves, so it can absorb the most energy throughout the summer. Now I'm putting them in a paper bag, and I think this is something that I've recycled. This paper allows for aeration, and it also allows basically for you to see if a bulb does rot, because it's going to leak through that paper and it's going to be very obvious because it'll just be a dark spot on the bag. So here you can staple it, you can clip it shut, it's whatever you want to do. From there, I am going to put it in our refrigerator. I set the temperature to 37. I leave them in for 4 to 6 weeks, and then after that, I take them out, and some of them are going to bloom and some of them aren't. So don't be, hard on yourself if they don't rebloom. Some of them didn't get enough energy throughout the summer to get enough energy basically to create blooms. So that's a factor. I've also seen people that do not put them outside at all to grow, and they get them to rebloom too, but the blooms are just not as amazing as whenever they first purchased it. So I hope that you find these tips helpful. Please let me know if you have any tips or tricks to get them to rebloom, and if you did this, let me know how it went for you. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. I'll see you next time. Bye.